Lucas. Matt, nice to see you. Lucas, we'll start with you. How long have you been playing lacrosse?
I've been playing lacrosse since 4th grade.
4th grade. Was it always a goal to be on this team, be captain of this team?
Yeah, my older brother was the captain when he was here, so of course there's always an expectation for me to get that too.
Have you ever played lacrosse like outside of the school? Like not like within the community? Have you played like a competitive league or something like that?
Yeah, I've played in various competitive leagues across Rhode Island.
Being named captain, what would you say is the biggest responsibility that you have to take on in that role?
There's a lot of different responsibilities that are filled by captains, and everyone has their own way of filling it. And so there are people who lead everyone through the warm-ups and are big leaders by keeping people in line. And I like to think I'm more of a captain who just tries to lead by example and teach people as much as I can and however much I know.
What would you say is kind of the personality of the team, if you could sum it up briefly?
I'd say we like to have fun. We just kind of are playing lacrosse to have a good time as much as we can, and usually that translates well into us enjoying the sport and doing well at the same time.
And for you specifically, as a friend, I know that you're a very, very dedicated student along with an athlete. And just how much balance can you keep with those two?
I'd say during the lacrosse season, there's a lot more getting up early to do my homework or doing it at the beginning of the class than when I'm not doing a sport.
Would you say it's more difficult for someone like you who maybe takes a few more AP classes or higher expectations in those classes?
Yeah, definitely, because you've got more work. You're trying to cram more curriculum in a shorter period of time, especially for AP classes, and you also are held to a higher standard oftentimes in those classes, so your work's got to be good and not just there.
Not just done last minute. Can you think of a specific example where you would reach your max stress point?
Yeah, sophomore year, I was doing my independent project presentation, and I got home from practice, ate dinner. It was like 8 o'clock by the time I got there, and started my project. Found out I had like 12 viruses on my computer. Had to fight off all of those, finish the project in time for the next day. I was basically up all night.
You mentioned the time element there. What time does your practice start on a daily level?
So our practice over the years has changed positions, but it's always been 4 to 6. So you kind of just barely have enough time to get home and get clothes before you head back out for practice, and then it doesn't end until like 6.
And you said that you have enough time to just go home and get stuff ready for lacrosse. What if you had to stay after? Are the coaches accommodating of students staying after?
Yeah, the coaches will, if it's something academic, they'll let you take the practice off or come in late if you need to.
Does it affect how much you're playing a game if you miss some part of practice for school?
So the rules for the team are if you miss a practice before a game, you have to make up the practice before you can play. So if you miss a practice, you gotta play one practice before you can play in a game. So it's kind of like a matter of timing it so that a practice you miss doesn't stop you from playing in a game. And that's not our coach's rules, that's just the, like Jamie Vitalino on the sports board rules.
Do you personally think that's a fair rule?
It makes sense for certain people because there are definitely players on sports teams that might be just trying to skip out of practices and just go to the games. But there are also a lot of people who are dedicated athletes and academic student athletes who are taking that responsibility. They're not taking it lightly.
Some of the other captains that I interviewed suggested that maybe we take out gym for student athletes like during the semester that their sport is in and fill it with a study hall because of the more activity that they're doing at their own practice. Do you agree with that?
Well, of course I agree with that because honestly I'm getting in a lot more physical activity in practice, but I also am sympathetic to the fact that it's a state law that you have to take gym, and you got to go through a lot of higher ups before you can make that change here at the school.
And finally, my last question, do you think that student athletes in season should have a specific time period to complete assignments like after a game or something like that?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think that they should have an extended period of time to like complete assignments while they're in season?
That's a tough question. Just because there's a lot of sensitivity around the fact that like people say that like people who are on sports teams get unfair advantages and we celebrate it more than academics, and I think an important case for like having sports related to school is that it practices responsibility and balance, and I know that's why colleges look at it as a positive thing. So I think it is important that you keep the same deadlines, even if it's you have a game before. But at the same time, I appreciate it when teachers are understanding and they take their own personal, like make their own personal decision to either give you that time or do whatever they can to help you.
So if it becomes a worse situation, just ask the teacher.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Matt, how long have you been playing lacrosse?
Since about 6th grade.
6th grade. You fall in love with it?
Yeah, I fell in love right away.
What position do you play here for the high school?
Defense.
Defense. Now, my cousin played lacrosse in high school and played a little bit in college. He was a defenseman too. Would you say it's the toughest role on the team?
Honestly, I would not say it's the toughest.
What would you say is the biggest aspect of your game as a defenseman?
To keep the ball from scoring.
Simplest terms, yeah.
Yes.
Did you expect to become captain for this team?
It was a bit of a surprise this year with some of the choices of captains.
Do you feel that you worked to become a captain, or it was just kind of?
Yeah, I came into this season with a different mindset, trying to become a captain.
And Lucas said it before, each captain kind of does their different thing to lead the team. What would you say is your biggest role?
I try my best to like pump up players. Like
He's the hype man.
Depends on the day.
And Lucas said the personality. You guys like to have fun. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, 100%. We like to have fun, but at the same time we're going for the win.
Practices are how long?
2 hours.
2 hours. And you get home at 6, you said?
We end at 6. By the time, it depends on where you live for when you get home, because we practice at the middle school, which also affects with transportation for some people.
So, has that been a factor in past years where transportation wasn't an issue?
No, not usually, because last year we had practice here on the quad, so some kids either stayed after for school and they just walked right out. But now kids have to either call for a ride or wait for the parents to get home. We have some kids come late every once in a while because due to rides and where we have practice.
So, do you prefer the way that it was last year?
Oh
Or
yes,
here?
100%.
Do you think that coaches give you an ample amount of time to finish work before practice? Like if you're staying out there?
I wouldn't say that really goes on their say because they can't pick when they get to practice. That's all the athletic director. But if it was up to them, they would love for us to have more work because they're always about school first, as most coaches are.
You're on the football team, of course, and Coach Morrone implemented a study hall right after school. What was the difference between that and past years?
You actually got your work done before practice. So when you got home, if you either had no homework or even more or less homework than before, which helped with sleeping. You could go to bed earlier, wake up on time, not show up to school, sleep in class.
Would you say during the lacrosse season so far and football season, which has had the more amount of work?
As a senior, I feel like football, there's a lot more work because teachers jamming everything in for a semester, and practices went from right after school to about 6. So if you can, for lacrosse season, you can squeeze it in, and the coaches are more lenient in school for lacrosse.
And you mentioned being a senior. Specifically as a senior, has this year been a bigger workload in season for you?
For the most part, yes. Due to all the senior requirements, graduation requirements.
In this early season, have you gotten to a level of stress so far?
I've had my days where I had like stay up all night, and then the next morning you're just shot, and then you go through it all day, then you go to practice. It affects your practicing, and then it's kind of a cycle.
Because I know with some of the spring athletes that I interviewed, like softball, they were saying when you had to start doing scholarships and stuff like that, and you're working on your senior project at the same time, and you still have assignments in class, it was just bad.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. But some teachers are lenient.
Yeah. Would you say that do you feel comfortable personally approaching a teacher and maybe asking, hey, I have a game later, could I maybe have an extra day to do this?
Yes, depending on the teacher though.
Do you encourage maybe, if you're comfortable with your teacher, do you encourage other teammates maybe to do that?
Yeah, I think we should.
Because I know personally, I've missed assignments during soccer season, but that's with teachers that I'm not comfortable in because that's first semester. Sometimes you don't always get to know your teacher. But as the year goes on, I feel like you can be more comfortable asking a teacher for extension and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a final question for you: do you think that student athletes should have an extended period of time or a specific period of time, like a study hall in season to complete assignments?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome because, like we said before, practices affect homework schedules and like keeps you up all night. It affects your next day and your performance in school and in sports.
Well, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.